Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the Winklerverse. I'm Bart Winkler, Karlos with a K, Ortiz alongside. Double cubbed up today. Are you a hat and shirt guy? You must be.
I'm definitely a hat and shirt guy. So you can tell when's the last time I got a haircut based on the amount of hats that I wear. And I haven't had a haircut in 2 months, so I've had a hat for 2 months.
I need to rephrase the question. I mean, are you a sports logo matching guy normally?
Oh, 1000%. But again, definitely it is exaggerated with the haircut pairing. If I have a fresh haircut, I'll show off just a jersey and shirt, whatever the case may be. The more that I wolf out like I do now, like you see those luscious curls.
Yeah.
The more that I have that's out of control, you'll see the double logo with the shirt and the hat and all that.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I don't like to do both.
I'm a big both guy. Why can't
Actually,
I have both?
I need more like hats. I need more hats that don't like. I need blank hats.
Yeah, same here. Like,
because sometimes I'll rock a Packer shirt, but I was already wearing a Bucks hat, and I'm like,
yeah,
I look like a fucking idiot.
Yes, so you don't cross brand it, you don't cross sport it, like you're wearing a Bulls hat and a Bears jersey, which I would never do. I'm not a Bears fan, but yeah, I think you look like an absolute tool because then you're not rooting on either team, you're just rooting on your city, which I think is almost fraudulent behavior.
I also have a hard time wearing, and it's only applicable to the Packers. Like I'll wear Bucks stuff any day of the year. I'll wear Brewers stuff any day of the year, but I feel like wearing Packer stuff outside of football season is a bit lame.
Oh, can't be me. I
do have a hat that I wear, but it's that GB. It might be down here. It's not, but I have been wearing a Packer yellow long sleeve shirt also lately.
I wear Giants logos crap.
Like instead, I wear the sick West Ham hat that says the Hammers, which I'm totally wearing for people to be like, what are the Hammers? I mean, come on. There's no fucking question that I'm doing that. Greg is in the house. Mr. Positive, a.k.a. Mr. Boom Shakalaka.
No. I yelled at him yesterday. He called into the network that I currently am employed by. Yeah, he called in with Linnell Willingham. Shout out Linnell, who's likes you for some reason. And Greg came in with the boom shakalaka. I immediately jumped on air and I'm like, no. We're maxed out on catchphrases. I know Infinity's dead, but the band that I had with you, that lives on. As long as I'm employed and you call in, that band fucking carries over. No 28 catchphrases. You're allowed to say go for your dreams and one other thing. Boom shakalaka is not it.
No, not it. Sorry, Greg. I got a little lenient with him at the end.
Because we were on our way out. So like, listen, Greg can host a fucking segment for all we care.
Speaking of the Infinity Sports Network, if you did not catch Friday's show, Bill Ryder joined me where we talked AI and aliens for 30 minutes before we finally got into the Bucks, which is kind of why I had him on. So check that out. These are all available on the Dan Shaney YouTube. Thanks to our friends at Carl's Place. You look like you were going to play a drop there. Thank you. Shout out to Alex, who works with my wife in some capacity.
Is it her work husband or?
No.
She would never?
He told her today something about he's looking forward to, he watches the Dan Shaney YouTube stream. So that's how you know sponsorships start to work when other people say it. So thank you, Alex. And he says he's looking forward to the National Perspective show with Karlos Ortiz later today, which is happening right now. So shout out to Alex.
Brother, this guy stinks.
Jared says, I was listening to another sports radio network last night, and that lady who's obsessed with the moon and stars called in.
Oh, Andrea from Berkeley, California. How the hell do I still remember her name? But yeah, that's the only person on earth that I can think of that is obsessed with astrology and how it pertains to calling a random sports show. The weirdest shit of all time.
Apparently, if my time on Threads is any indication, everything going on now globally was written in the stars. Mercury's in retrograde, Karlos. What's that mean? I don't know. But that's why shit's happening.
Yeah, got to watch out for that retrograde.
I was walking down the street the other day, and it was the day, and my son saw the moon.
See, I instinctively went for that "I love the moon" drop. Realized, oh wait, no, we don't have real jobs anymore. I don't have that.
I love the moon. And he goes, "Daddy, look, it's the moon." And I said, "Yeah, do you think it's real?" And he's like, he's like, "It's right there."
You know what? Legitimate question now.
I go, "Yeah, but
did we really land there?
But what is it?" He goes, "It's like a big rock."
Is it?
I go, "Son, I watched this movie where the moon was actually," because then I go, "What if the moon was started falling to Earth?" And he said, "I'd run. And I said, "I watched a movie called Moonfall where that happens." And then they realized that inside the moon's actually hollow. And there's like a sentient being from another planet. It's crazy. And then you go to like an afterlife or something. And he says, "That sounds cool. I want to watch it." I said, "It's the worst fucking movie I've ever seen." I should have even told you about it.
Yeah.
Then I will tell you this. It's getting hard to he's 6 years old, and I was on my phone. Sorry. But I came across on Twitter pictures of the war. And he's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, a movie.
Another bad movie.
An even worse movie. Which somehow, yeah, that's a good one. I need you to write for me. That's a good one. Shit. Fuck. God damn it. God damn it. Earlier. But we're all characters in it. All right. It is the National Perspective Show. So that means we should start with something nationally. And the big news nationally in sports right now
is Bucks and Bulls. How about that 27-0 run in the fourth quarter yesterday in a game I desperately wanted you guys to win?
Give me a minute before we do get into that's a little more local.
Oh, I thought that was national. Sorry, I didn't realize that wasn't the lead.
What would our lead tonight be at?
Oh, I have no idea, dude. This times like this are actually why I'm grateful that we got laid off, because I'm like, what the hell am I going to be talking about? I've seen 3 seconds of college basketball. I know vaguely who's good in the NBA. I don't know what we were going to lead with. Today would have been a complete just mail-in day by me. I'm like, I'm getting the audio and see what we'll see what we can build a show around that.
I think I'd do some college basketball. The tournaments start today.
Sure.
I think there's one game in the Horizon League, and then Milwaukee and Green Bay both play on Wednesday. But that picked up
Illinois, sure.
We would talk about Miami of Ohio because apparently they're 27-0, and if they have one loss, they're not going to make it as an.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce Pearl's a fucking hack, but I digress.
Bruce Pearl is like. Bruce Pearl suddenly wants you to know everything he's fucking thinking. I don't understand where that came from.
I mean, he's on TNT Sports talking about Miami of Ohio. Bro, you're just being a mouthpiece for Auburn. I was going to swear a lot, but no, screw Bruce Pearl.
I just have the feeling like if they lose a game, if they lose in the semis of the MAC tournament,
they're out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, but
it doesn't make sense.
What's the point?
Right. Then there's zero value to the regular season in college basketball. And that's how I feel anyway, because 64 teams or 68 teams, whatever, is going to get into the tournament anyway. But all right, so all you got to do is get hot in your conference tournament, win the tournament, and then just go get waxed by an 11 seed or whoever the case may be once you get into the tournament. Then there's no reason to have a regular season at all. Honestly, throw in 3-4 games to everybody can play in for seeding for the tournament, and then just roll out the ball in March. I mean, what are we doing a regular season for? Miami of Ohio needs to get in.
I agree. No, and I think the problem is you're right. It makes the regular season nullified. Quick note here on YouTube. Tim's Fork Mike says, "Love seeing you as a part of the show."
I've been doing this once a week, brother. Where you been? You back?
Well, Tim's Fork Mike is a callback to a very early Winklerverse moment where I had my friend Tim interviewing people outside of the Bucks Stadium with a fork. So it's exactly how it sounds.
Was it the toy fork from Toy Story? I'm garbage.
No.
Disney has to sponsor us for that.
And he also says Bruce Pearl living off that UWM Sweet 16 run.
He really is. He honestly really is.
They call that the Doc Rivers. Although he actually won.
Yeah, he got the one title in Boston. He should have had more. He stinks.
Oh, fuck. I'll just say this one. MDK, Bart, shave the head, be the cool balded dad. Own it, liberate yourself, and maybe a new gig.
It's not wrong. I've been telling you to shave that Friar's haircut for a while.
Maybe I will shave.
It's not that bad. You just need to do something with it.
If I need it shorter.
Yeah, you know what? Let me retract the Friars slander. It's not really not that bad. You just got to do something with it.
I'll be quite honest with everybody real quickly. And if Alex is watching, don't bring this to my wife, because I meant it in private, but now I'm going to share it with the world. Although, like, it might be applicable here too. I told her the middle class is dying. And she said,
middle class?
Well, yeah. But I meant, no. You think I'm actually talking about the world? I'm talking about me. The Bart middle class is dying. Like, the Bart that exists now is either a really great husband, dad, broadcaster, friend, coach Bart, or absolute demoralized, anxiety-ridden, just unkempt, chaotic. What's the word I'm looking for? Just like maniac. Like, it's either good or bad. There's no like me having an average day anymore, or being an average person.
There's a good Bart.
Bart.
The ladder's the only one that I know.
At least in my head. All right. So regarding everything that you guys are all here, Miami of Ohio. It does nullify the regular season. So you have to understand these teams, like, what's the point? What's the point of traveling, putting together every game day, sheet? What's the point of trying to get better? What's the point of practicing? What's the point of having people? Like, what is the point if you play 30 games, 29 games, win them all, and then you all get together in Detroit or wherever and they lose, and then you're just out? That's so stupid. I always talk to Bart Lundy about this, who's the coach of Milwaukee. And yeah, Bart on Bart show. It's a great show on this channel. And I say, like, he knows every year going into the season, you're in a one bid league.
Yeah.
And you have to win the tournament. So if you have a big win in early February, does it matter? Of course you want seeding, because in the Horizon League, then they stack. There's more college campus games to start. So you want that. Green Bay is going to be hosting a game with our guy Gottlieb. And it's tough because I still always thought of like a silver lining, but if you really have a special season, a one bid league doesn't have to be set in stone. You can get another person in there. And if Miami of Ohio, again, this is all, hearsay. We might have some breaking news, but if well, yeah.
As I run to the phone, it's not the David Montgomery trade that went to.
That's what we'd probably lead with. Giannis is returning tonight.
We are so effing back.
Giannis is returning tonight, according to Shams. Milwaukee's Giannis is expected to return tonight against the Boston Celtics after missing the last 5+ weeks of the right calf strain. Can I tell you what I said on my stream here last night?
Your boy Shammy. Please.
Last night, I said, because I came on after the Bucks and Bulls, maybe that's why he had to come back. Maybe that loss is going to bring him back. I said, Giannis is not coming back anytime soon.
He heard you.
I said, it would shock me if he was back by March Madness, but I don't think there's any chance he's still playing in March. And now he's playing on March 2nd.
Yeah, he definitely heard you specifically. He's like, wait a minute. I know that guy. Our kids go swimming together. Time to shut him up.
Should I craft a tweet? Should we do a live tweet crafting? First of all, I'll craft this tweet. I always say craft. Why don't you tell me your thoughts on the 11-game Bulls losing streak? I didn't realize that had happened. I knew they were in the mix. And then the other night, like Thursday, I was doing something and I looked at the standings. I'm like, well, how did the Bulls get down? They lost 10 in a row. Then it was 11. I understand, but okay, if we were working the show, we would talk about that during more. But
I don't know.
How can I
don't know how true that is.
How can I watch the NBA?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how true it is that we would be talking about it because, dude, I am a Bulls fan. And listen, I want to preface this by saying I'm not exactly locked in, day in and day out. I think it's very well known at this fact that I'm more of a casual NBA fan. I've been crushing the association with the last couple of years. I think the product is dog shit. It's been, completely neutered from where the game was when I grew up. That being said, I felt like there was no buzz to this losing streak whatsoever. In fact, when I saw the alert that the Bulls had a 27-0 run to end the game and beat the Bucks and snap that 11-game losing streak, I was like, wait, what? They were on an 11-game losing streak? Like, you would not have known. This has been one of the most quietest, multi-game losing streaks that I've heard from a team in recent history. And I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I don't think I've heard anybody talk about it, whether I'm surfing through channels, popping Sports Center a little bit, or even on Twitter. I didn't see anyone talking about the Bulls, which is, to be honest, great. Because what's been my complaint with the Bulls the last couple of years? Perennial 9-10 spot. They're going to get waxed by the Miami Heat in the play-in game. And then they're going to be out of, the draft lottery or, pick somewhere in the teens and just be an absolute fucking purgatory, which Jerry Reinsdorf just loves to live in. Now they finally picked the direction. They traded some guys away and they're like, all right, we're going to suck. Let's just blow this up. And for them to make that decision and finally decide, hey, let's go ahead and just tank, it has been a very quiet tank. I did not hear anything. I don't know how often we would have mentioned the Bulls outside of my own fandom this previous past 2-3 weeks.
Well, that's the thing. I cover the league. Now, am I covering the league right now? I don't know. Doing the show that I'm doing?
Not per se, but sure. You're definitely more invested in the league than I am.
Yeah, but still, I have NBA on my TV every night because of my kid watches Channel 750 on DirecTV. It's the mix. I get the emails, and I usually read through The Athletic, especially the bounce email they send. So I'm and I get one from the NBA. Now, if it's not super important, I don't read them as much, and I don't use them for prep like I was. And maybe the All-Star game is to be a part of it, but I can't believe how the Chicago Bulls had a 10-game losing streak, and I didn't realize that until game 10.
Yeah, dude, and it's not bad teams won't get covered. I mean, I hear about the Dallas Mavericks a lot. I hear about the Pacers a lot, and what the Jazz have been doing. I hear more about those teams, and those teams equally suck, if not worse than the Bulls. But again, with the Bulls, not a peep. Now, I don't know if it's just because people didn't care or the Bulls are, like I said, quietly going about their business. I mean, I don't think that their statement to blow it up was quiet. I mean, they made it no secret. Hey, we're going to start trading people away. They traded Kobe White. They traded Vucevic to the Celtics. So they got rid of pieces. It's kind of two things. One, it goes to how irrelevant the Bulls franchise is. Nobody cares what they're doing. And two, there is a certain sort of bias in terms of which teams are going to be covered and which ones aren't going to be covered. We're talking about the Pistons because obviously the Pistons are really good. The Knicks are the Knicks. It's New York. The Spurs are good because they got Wemby. We're going to talk about them. Bad teams that are getting covered. We'll talk about the Mavs because they got Cooper Flag. Talk about the Hornets, who are a sneakily interesting team because Con Knippel, dare I say, might be having a better rookie year than Flag. He's not as good defensively, but he's better. He's a better scorer. So the Hornets are much more interesting than the Bulls. But then there are teams that are good that you probably won't hear any mention of. Like, when's the last time anybody was breaking down an Orlando Magic game? Well,
they're struggling. The Thunder, I think I hear more about the Spurs a little bit.
I've been hearing about the Spurs a lot.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. I think they're a really good team. A lot of people are rushing to crown them. Let's pump the brakes. The Thunder, we're on the verge of a dynasty last year after winning their first title. All of a sudden, we're just going to anoint the Spurs because, they're having a little bit of a run right now. If anything, they're like a year early. Let's not forget that the Thunder still have 1 million picks and they're pretty damn young themselves.
I just had a thought based on everything you're saying that I had not considered up until this point is the NBA. What they lack is a pennant race.
Because divisions don't matter.
Divisions don't matter. Half the league gets in the playoffs, more than that if you're going to count the play-in tournament.
Right.
So you're either, and right now, like the only real team that is playing for a spot in the postseason is the Bucks. Because the Bulls are tanking, the Wizards, Nets, Pacers are tanking. I'm looking at everybody on the outside looking in.
Yep.
Grizzlies, Mavs, Pelicans, Jazz, Kings are all tanking. In the West, you have the Blazers and the Clippers, but there's a 4.5 game separation. So maybe still something changes there, but nobody's playing for anything over there. I suppose, do we want to avoid the play-in? Maybe that last week things get a little more contentious with the Nuggets, Lakers, Suns, Timberwolves, but that's not going to be for a while. Yep. In the East, I think the East, the top 6 is probably going to be pretty much set.
Yeah, maybe the Magic sneak up a little bit if the Sixers, go on a skid, but you're splitting hairs, honestly, between 6 and 10.
So what Adam Silver has done is he's trying to make this is a thing that I don't think people realize a lot. And I always talk about rules on top of rules and branches and branches. When you take something and you try to solve a problem, right? You add a branch to that problem, or like a timeline kind of thing, if we want to be all Marvel about it. And now you're trying to solve it, but then this problem creates more problems. And all of a sudden, you're trying to fix all these problems that you're trying to fix, how do we have a pennant chase? Well, the answer has nothing to do with that. It has to go back to you added this play-in tournament because you're trying to eliminate tanking, which if you would have tried to solve that problem, you wouldn't need all this other quirky stuff. And I don't feel like leagues or maybe businesses or maybe people, a lot of times we never say, well, let's go back to step 1 and try over. It's always like, well, we're here now. Now what do we do? And especially in sports, because once you introduce more of something, I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head. How many times has a league added games and then taken them away? Added play. The only time I can think of is hockey and baseball had a larger postseason during COVID and then pulled them back to be normal. Mm-hmm. But every other time there's been playoff or game expansion, the NFL, they're going to go to 18 games at some point. They would never go back to 16. And could you even fathom going back to 14?
14? No way. People would riot in the street if they ever went back to a 14.
And you could say preseason games, but you're just taking from here and putting it over there.
Right. You're taking from a part of the schedule that no one gives a shit about. Everyone talks about how the preseason's glorified anyway. So you're taking one less from there that people don't really watch and just adding it to something that will matter. I think it's a little bit different than NBA, MLB, because I think we do recognize as football fans that the NFL still is king. It's getting saturated, but it's not to the point where people are turning it off. They're still breaking, numbers and records everywhere. So I think we're more apt and acceptable to an 18-game schedule. So I want to put football aside, specifically with basketball and baseball, even to that extent. The NBA knows it would benefit from a shorter season because the regular season would mean something. MLB, the same thing. You talk about baseball. Why is it so romantic? Because it's just a long grind in order to filter teams out. Well, I mean, more teams are getting in both in baseball and basketball. Silver, like you said, he created this play-in tournament to keep, to eliminate tanking, but also he wanted more teams theoretically to be involved in the playoff hunt. So more fan bases would be invested. But the teams are realizing, hey, if we're in that 6 to 10 spot, we're probably going to get waxed. I keep saying 6 to 10, it's 7 to 10. We're probably going to get waxed in the first round. Very rarely does a 9 or a 10 seed advance further, i.e. the Bulls. They're always getting smoked out. So, NBA fans realize that, well, all right, it's not about making the playoffs because we know who the best teams are in way before this playing tournament stuff starts to settle in terms of the seeding. Like if you are let's say you're obviously you're a Bucks fan. Let's say the Bucks do wind up getting into the 10th spot. You're not going to go make a long run. You're going to be, you're going to go into this playoffs eyes wide open. You're not going to be vested in and think that you're going to knock off Detroit or go to New York and beat them in a 7-game series. So, like, I think basketball fans are wise up and they know where it's not like any other sport where you come in there with false hopes. I think basketball fans are smart, realizing, dude, we can't be in the middle. Either you got to get a lottery pick and completely tank, or you got to go all in if have any semblance of being good. Being in the middle does absolutely nothing for you. So Silver wanted more fan bases to be invested, but I think it's having the opposite effect because people aren't stupid. Nobody thinks the Bucks are going to win a championship. Nobody thinks, the Magic or the Sixers or the Grizzlies are going to go off on an all-time heater like baseball, like the Nationals did a couple of years ago, and win a ring. It's just not going to happen. Basketball's not structured that way.
I have a video I'd like to play. It is of myself.
Video.
Bored.
Part of me jumping. All right, let's fast forward a little bit. Tim, if you could edit some of this in post. So this is me last night. We just found out Shams. He's got this bit of info right on Giannis. He says, Giannis is expected to return tonight against the Celtics after missing the last 5+ weeks. Here was my prediction last night. Maybe Giannis comes back. Maybe he doesn't. I don't feel like we have an accurate timeline on when Giannis is coming back. At least it's not something that I am cognizant of. So if he is going to come back anytime soon, that's going to be a surprise to me. I'm not going to expect him to play in March. I mean, why? Even if he rushes back, it seems like now 3 games back of trying to get into the play-in, which you have to win 2 games for where they would get in anyway. How's this going to work? All right. So bad prediction from me. I did craft my tweet and I'm excited to share it with you here. I said, Giannis saw the team lose to the Bulls and had to rush back. Or maybe he wants to get a few games in before the world ends. Who can know?
Yeah, you're like, you know what? Let's distract from World War III and just announce that I'm back.
Robert says, do you feel the U.S. was justified in bombing Iran? And will the Bucks fire Doc in the offseason? Robert, that'll be hour number 2 of the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll move it to hour number 2.
Hour 5 when we used to actually have a platform
of the podcast. All right. I'm going to play for you a voicemail from David in Buffalo, if that sounds good.
I like David.
Me too. Voicemails are brought to you by Carl's Place, which the National Perspective with Karlos Ortiz is brought to you by Carl's Place. Links, Linktree, YouTube. They're in there. You can just go to carlovt.com. But if you want to let me get a credit for the click, build your own golf simulator. They're constantly, since I was there the first time, like a few years ago, the amount of things that they have come up with, it's unbelievable. So if you're thinking you've got that space you don't know what to do with, golf simulator, your buddy at an office, it's a really good thing. And they've got the equipment to want to get it done. A lot of like high-end sports bars use them. Not high-end in terms of it's a nice bar. It's not like, I'm trying to compliment their product. I'm doing a pretty okay job at it.
Yeah, adequate.
All right. Here is David in Buffalo. Consider this your bullet. William wants a shout out. Wilbro77. Give me a shout out.
All right, done. Is the W because he's flying the W, or is that just because of his name?
Oh, that's a good point. Because if I did a Bart Winkler YouTube and just did my name, it would probably give me the W. I need to find a way to take back the Fly the W using my name.
No, won't happen. I can't wait to buy my new Fly the W shirt flag this year.
All right, here's David in Buffalo. If you enjoy the Dan
Shaney
YouTube stream, I have my phone held up to my microphone.
Bart, what's up? This is David from Buffalo, man. Let's get to a few topics here in the world of sports and a little story for you at the end here. Start off with our Buffalo Sabres, man. They are rolling right now. I don't know if you would call them a Stanley Cup contender, but I'll say this. The game tomorrow night against Vegas, they beat Vegas at home. You know, Tage Thompson's going to get a big, gold medal ceremony. And he'll be respected. I would think, around the league now as a guy that's really a force in the league as a top scorer and a top player. And this team right now, I mean, they crushed Tampa. They beat Florida. This team's come out of the Olympic break looking really good, man. So I am wondering, is this team a dark horse Stanley Cup contender? I mean, who would have thought that we would have said that about this team that hasn't made the playoffs since Obama was in his first term in office? That is incredible. Huge game tomorrow night. Huge game on Thursday night on ESPN too, as well against Pittsburgh. So love the way the Sabres are playing right now. Lindy Ruff definitely deserves Coach of the Year candidacy if he can get that. Couple other takes, man. Shane Lowry melted down at the Cognizant Classic yesterday. The only thing I can say, Bart, he got ahead of himself. Literally got ahead of himself. He had a huge lead going into the Bear Trap, and this is a guy who's a world-class player, a guy who clinched the Ryder Cup last year, a guy who's won a major, a guy who's won the old World Golf Championship event at Firestone back in the day. This guy's done it all, man. But we're starting to see some elements of this with his game where he can't close out tournaments. We saw it on the DP World Tour a few months ago. We saw it this week, at the Cognizant. Dude, you got to be able to finish tournaments. Last thing, man, quick story for you. Went to the dentist today. The hygienist, her uncle was former Bucks player and San Antonio Spurs player, Alvin Robertson, I should say. Bart, I'm just going to say, she told me this. I'm just reporting the news. He has 23 kids. That is correct. He has 23 kids, Bart. I don't know where else to go with that. He has 23 kids, she told me. That was one of the things she told me. But it's just kind of a funny story for you there. So kids out there, to borrow a line from the Cablinasian during the smack-off when he was talking about Tyreek Hill, wrap it up. And I ain't talking about this call, Bart. That's all I got for you today. See you later, man.
Wow.
I have an Alvin Robertson card. It's a Fleer. I'm picturing it's right over there.
23 kids, man. That's a lot of fucking.
How many?
I got to know how many different baby moms. There's no way it was one woman that produced these children. Like it's 1339.
So let's think about this. If you have 23 kids, there's no way it's with one woman.
No. What's the over-under on partners? I'm going to go with a pretty healthy number. I don't know anything about his career.
I'll tell you what my line is.
All right. I'll give you my line right now. I'm trying to factor essentially. He said 23 kids.
Mm-hmm. Now we got a show, boys.
I'm going to set my line at 7.5. I think that's a very, very tough number because you're thinking, you could be like, oh man, all right, he's got 7 baby moms or he's got 8 baby moms. So I'm asking you to give me the right one. I'm going to go 7.5. That's my line. And I'm going to go over. He has 8 baby moms.
First of all, do you think this is why they call it 23andMe?
Didn't even think about it.
He was trying to. No, it's something about
like Giannis invested in Kalshi. He probably invested in 23andMe.
Oh yeah. My over/under line that I was going to set 7.5.
Look at
that. You can eliminate one. You can eliminate 2 because the only way you're having 2 women produce all 23 of your kids if you're like one of those TLC reality shows, and then you have a separate reality show about my other secret big family. It's not 3, it's not 4. You're talking 6. There's got to be at least one woman you had 5 children with.
And I think that's the max.
Another you had 3 or 4 with. And then I think it might be a lot of pump and dumps, Karlos. I might have to take the
lot of one and dones, man. A lot of one and dones. A lot of I want to say, again, not knowing him personally, not trying to slander him, I want to say he probably didn't know about 10 of those kids.
Well, he knows the number.
He knows the number now. I'm sure it was like presented as like, hey, knock, knock. By the way, this one is yours. And he's like, oh, shit, another one? Like, I'm almost sure he had to have been blindsided by 10 of these kids.
I don't know if this is true information.
We could forget all about David's other points. Good job, Buffalo Sabres. Third in points in the Eastern Conference. Yay. Golf is golf. He should have led with this.
Here's an article I found from 2010. Former NBA All-Star Alvin Robertson, facing sexual assault of a child and sex trafficking charges, is back in jail.
You know what?
He was accused of kidnapping a 14-year-old girl.
Listen, with 23 kids, kind of checks. Kind of checks out.
Is this really Sith Lord? Sith, let me know if it's really you, because I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. All right. Something else I want to bring up. Oh, first of all, regarding the hockey and the Sabres, I got an email about hockey trade deadline odds. And this is the first time I didn't immediately delete it.
Just don't trade some Trocheck yet.
Since my Sabres are, I think, good. So who's like the biggest name that's going to be traded? Austin Matthews? Or what?
I mean, I'd be shocked if Toronto moved on from him. I would. I understand why the thought process is there. But yeah, he's probably the biggest name that could be on the move. The Rangers put out a letter, the letter 2.0, as we've been calling it, a couple of weeks ago, saying that they were going to move on from a bunch of people. They already traded Artemi Panarin, who I would say was their best player at the time. They paid Igor to be the best player, but you're not trading Igor right now. So Panarin's gone. I think Trocheck is the next guy that would go.
Oh, Darth Lord. Darth Lord, you're just as good. Love you too, Darth. Go ahead.
I'm finally realizing that there are comments, so I'm like trying to read these at the same time. I was like, I had no idea.
I can add them to the screen.
I had no idea these comments were genuinely here, because I got to start messing with StreamYard a little bit more for my own uses as well as my network.
Typically, I will add. Typically, if I see a comment that can increase or enhance the show, I will then put it full screen here on the, of course, Dan Shaney YouTube. But right now, I have the comments on the actual screen.
How about that?
With no moderation from myself. So
surprised Barry from Boston hasn't found you guys yet. No, I'm not.
As the comments are here right now, while I have this up, you could say anything you want, and I can't delete it, but it would be on the show. So you got maybe I'll keep it up until somebody crosses the line, but then you'll know what I think crosses the line.
Yeah, I think once you start saying thanks, Bart, I think we got to hide that chat.
Shouting out Darth Lord. All right, the other thing I wanted to bring up, the UFL has introduced some rule changes. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
UFL still a thing?
4.60-yard field goals. 4.60-yard field goals. Your thoughts?
I don't hate it. No, actually. No. No. I was just like, oh, I'm kind of fine with it. But then it becomes a 3-point shot in NBA. Then now all of a sudden analytics. So I'm like, okay, we'll never go for another fourth down again. If you're, at the 40, we'll just send out Brandon Aubrey and get an automatic 4 points. No, I think I hate it. I think I hate it.
I think I saw it and I liked it right away. We are getting to a point where, okay, you just kicked it for 65 yards.
Yeah, the records are being broken.
But that counts the same as if you get stopped at the goal line and then you're like, fuck it, we'll just take 3 points. That feels weird. But it doesn't matter how far it's from. The act is it's going through the thing. You're right to compare about the 3-point shot. Difference with the 3-point shot is in the flow of play, you can decide, oh, shit, I'm going to take a 2 here. I'll just step back, take a 3. You've made that decision very easy. The other team can't, like, you're going to take a 3. They can't be like, no, fuck that. And they push you and move you. And so now when you shoot, you're going to be within the arc and it's going to count for 2. You can't do that. Here's the scenario in football that's a problem. I'm at the whatever yard line. It's 17 yards. So it'd be the 43 yard line would be a 60-yard field goal.
Yeah.
Because 7 for the operation, 10 for the end zone. So I'm at the 43 yard line. Let's say I'm at the 42-yard line.
Yep. Take that kneel and move back a little bit. You know,
how about this though? It's 4th and 9.
Yep.
I'm at the 42-yard line. I'm down 3.
Delay of game.
Or I'm down 4.
Delay of game. Move it back.
Yeah, you take a delay of game. So then you set up for this 4-point kick, and then guess what the other team does? They jump off sides.
Bring it right back.
And you decline it.
Yeah.
You decline it. Then they jump offside again. So there's got to be like one, but then you're adding, now you've created a rule, and now you're going to add different rules based on how the penalty is going to work. I think this is a great boardroom idea, but we have to see how it's executed. And there are going to be like, I am somebody who, when we talk about cheating and stuff, I have not really ever come down hard on cheaters because I'm a terrible person. No, because I feel like rules are not meant to be broken. Rules are meant to find loopholes around the rule. Okay? That's what I like. I call that strategy.
Yeah, rules are meant to be Belichick and Vrabeled.
Hey, what if we get more distance out of this ball? Or, I still don't get that, but let's deflate it.
Yeah, I don't see how that helps at all, but.
I mean, I don't know. If you were how many high school movies are like guy dates girl from rival school and then they get their hands on the big team's playbook and then it's the homecoming game? I don't know, maybe just one, but I feel like I remember that. I'll have AI make me I made an AI video.
Oh, did you? Again?
Yeah, it's based on one of our old calls.
Okay.
I'm going to show it to you. A guy had called in and said that he was a cop and he was transporting his criminal or whatever. And he called in, they were listening to the show, and I've clipped it, and I've always wanted to have somebody like draw out a scene for me. But I don't know what that would cost. So now I'm ragging against everything I'm doing everything. So now I found someone to do that service for me for free.
Oh, well, free works.
And also, this company may give me some money for doing it. So I'm helping advertise. So I'm a whore.
Yes, but, I said this last week. We're open for business.
Yeah, so here is the
I'm whoring myself out to the highest bidder.
2-minute video. The cop sounds different than how AI drew him.
Okay. Not going to be perfect.
But I didn't know how to explain it all right, so here's my AI video of a phone call. Ready?
Go.
And you could tell how AI it is. So if you're on the audio, you're going to hear the phone call. It was a good, fun phone call. I think it was a good moment of the show. And if you're on the video, you'll see the AI. If you're on the audio, then it's again incentment to go check out the Dan Shaney YouTube stream. Here's 2 minutes from the Bart Winkler Show.
Officer, how you doing, sir? Hey, I just want to say I'm transporting an inmate to the county jail. Unfortunately, this gentleman had a warrant. I'm not going to give his name, but we turned on the radio, listened to your show, and I just heard the funniest segment I think I've ever heard on radio, man. I want to give y'all the big ups. That was hilarious. Real quick, I want to ask you, what do you think about the Cavs? And
well, hold on, I got a question. I got questions now.
Yes, sir.
So, are you guys all still in the car together?
We just got off the freeway, heading to the county jail to book him in for a warrant.
So does he listen to the radio too?
Yeah, I let him listen to the radio. He was being cooperative. He didn't give me no hassle, so I turned the radio on, a little AC on for him, and this was. And you know what? Did he like it? He was cracking up. I try to be a good officer, man. I try to do, right by, the gals and girls and the gentlemen out here, because I know, they all go through hard times. And like I told him, this ain't the end of the road for you. He was kind of upset, but y'all brighten this day up, man. Ain't y'all brighten my day up? So I really appreciate that from y'all.
And I kind of brought you guys together a little bit.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir.
So what I wanted like a follow up on, and this would be up to him. I don't know what's going on and when. I don't know when, but hey, how you listen to that Bart Winkler show? How did you start listening to it? Well, I was in the back of a cop car once, and the show was on, and he had a good time, and so I don't know if he can promote me, like if he can like me again in like 5 to 10 or 15 to 20 or what's going on.
Y'all are the best, man. I appreciate y'all. God bless you, brother, and keep it going, man. Y'all the greatest.
All right, so I think that was a great call.
Wow, what an all-time call. And yeah, AI completely got the makeup of this officer wrong. I know it's not nice to generally assume. It's a fair assumption that they were off on a couple of his traits.
Well, I typed in what I wanted him to look like. And then I thought, I can't type that. So I said, look like Winston from New Girl. Because that's who he sounded like to me.
I would have said Carl Winslow from Family Matters.
The best part of this AI video is when the AI is, the guy is driving, and under it says current anecdote, and then under again it says anecdote.
And then it has you with a full head of hair, looking like a customer service rep with the headset. Radio show host.
So, like, if this is AI, because I use clips.
We're safe right now if this is where AI is at. Yeah. We're safe for a little longer.
I use what would be called AI tips. Or I use them when I'm not going to be able to pay. I can't pay someone to do that for me. It was Opus Clips. It's Opus OPUS Studio, Opus Clips. And they're the ones that help me cut my clips. And then they're like, hey, we're trying this new thing. If you have something you want to make a video of, we'll give you like $50 a submission. And then winner gets like $1,000. I mean, what the fuck? Am I not supposed to do that?
You're not thumbing your nose down at $50, let alone 1,000.
What is the hypocritical nature of this? But it's also justifiable from my end. Is I'm just me with not a large income, but you're also going to get businesses that think like this. So they'll be like, oh, someone could do the work cheaper. The work's not going to be good.
I think the economy's dog shit right now.
So they're going to pump out worse work. And then I'm going to pump out better work than I would be doing, but it ain't that good. And so now you're just going to flood the zone with a bunch of shit.
Yep.
So I'm fucked.
Oh, me too. No. I don't want to say I've given up on applying for jobs because, still applying for whatever jobs that are open, but I don't think that these jobs are going to be filled by human. I think these jobs will be filled by, AI or some form of it.
Quick other UFL rule changes.
Oh, we're still on that?
Yeah, this would have been a segment. This would have been a whole show.
I would have. This is the part where I'm going to go microwave the food that I brought. I'm gonna let you do the UFL stuff. I would have touched base on the field goal stuff. We would have looked at our hypothetical rundown that didn't exist, and I'm like, all right, let's do the field goal stuff first. And once you start talking about, anything else, I'm gonna go warm up this sausage and peppers I brought from the house.
Should I not? Is that a waste of brain space to think how I would program my national show while I'm 2 months out now from the national show?
No.
2.5. No,
because we do an extremely abbreviated version here on Mondays while I still don't have a real job. So, it has its use.
Ooh, Tom says 2 things are true. Jobs will be filled by AI and they'll be worse at it, but AI workers can't sue their employer.
Yeah, and what's the employer going to do? They're going to, find another AI.
No, the AI is just going to
AI job to replace
retain that info, tell its buddies, and then we're all going to get struck in silent drone attacks. By the way, I love the name of this show, but if this was starting post Infinity and I didn't have the 3 years prior, it would be called Bartificial Intelligence. I think that'd be a good name for the show.
I think it would be too. At the very least, you got to make a segment out of it. The Bartificial Intelligence segment.
Or maybe some swag. I'm looking at merch now for this fucking thing. People have asked, like 2.
Listen, that's 2 more people than you would have thought previously.
People come up to me. One person says, "Hey, you should get a hat." And then I'm like, yeah, so guys, I've been talking to people and it seems like there's a lot of demand for merch. That's always bullshit when people are asking. And for those of you asking, no one's fucking asking. Oh, tailgate meetup, not confirmed, but the target date is July 18th. It's a Saturday. The World Cup has their bronze medal game on that day. So hopefully the U.S. is not in that. Also, will there be one? Is my question.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to plan
on really be a World War III Cup because that's where we're trending.
I'm getting some March 2020 vibes right now. Like, I don't know. It's just going to be shut down. I don't know.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, if things pop off, I'm definitely calling the Army because that is at least an income that I know I can get back. I'll go right back to the front lines.
Let's hour 2 that one. Let's table that one for hour number 2.
Great. We're 2 minutes away from the hour 2.
Yeah. And you're 2 minutes away from freedom.
I don't have an appropriate drop. Thought I had something, but I only
Here are the other rules.
Keypads.
They're requiring only 1 foot in bounds for a legal catch. I don't know if I like that or not.
That's a college rule. No, 2 feet.
But I don't know. I could be talked into that in the NFL.
No.
But they
because then you imagine all the bullshit.
No, I think they have to change it because you could get your right foot in twice, but it still only counts as 1 foot. But then your shin counts as 2 feet.
No, 1 foot. No, 2 foot. 2 foot or 1 foot in ass cheek, 1 foot, a shin, you have 2 legs, some semblance of I don't even care if you do like an elbow and a foot, but it's got to be a 2 thing rule. I don't like the 1 foot.
They eliminated the tush push.
Good. Yeah. Should have led with that. Now I'm in the UFL. I'm all in.
I'm also hard-pressed to believe, and I watch a lot of UFL. I'm hard-pressed to believe there's ever been a tush-push run in that league. All the linemen are like 230 pounds. The linemen are not NFL linemen. They look like me.
Pounds, yeah.
Just to be clear for anyone joining, the UFL has banned the tush-push, not the NFL. The UFL.
Make that distinction.
Yeah, the NFL.
They need to follow suit.
It was a huge commotion last offseason, and now they don't give a shit. And then no punting from your opponent's territory.
I don't like that either.
No punts will be allowed from anywhere inside the 50. The
No.
rule does not apply after the 2-minute warning. Oh, here you go. Once the ball is made ready for play inside the 50, a team cannot punt even if a penalty or loss of yardage moves the ball behind the 50. So maybe that will be how the field goal works. Like, all right, we've established you're down at the 49, but you're still going to have weird plays where, like, I don't know, maybe you won't. Who knows?
No,
so
I don't like that one whatsoever. Because say you got a defense like the Houston Texans or the Denver Broncos, like that's a strategy, dude. If you can pin somebody like in their 5 and tell your defense, all right, go to work, you want that option in there. Like I don't like that. I don't like cutting you're cutting essentially the game in half when it comes to punts. I hate that rule.
So, yeah, I think the biggest story right now is the Texans trading for David Montgomery, which we didn't bring up at all, even though that's the point of this show.
Sure, I guess.
David Montgomery strikes me as a guy because he was with the Bears, but I think everyone's completely forgot about that. Now he's with the Lions. And I think David Montgomery is going to be one of those guys where in 20 years you open a pack of cards and you're like, oh, yeah, I remember this guy.
Yeah, I mean, his numbers the last 3 years with Detroit, you're like,
there was that season he scored in every game but like 1 or 2.
Yeah, he damn near led the league in touchdowns one year. And it's so funny how running backs could randomly do it. Remember, what the hell is this guy that was played for the Saints? He also used to play for the Lions. Why am I blanking on his name?
A running back?
Yeah, was Jamal Williams?
Yeah, he was a Packer.
And did he bounce to the Lions and then the Saints?
Yeah,
I got that right. So when he was with the Saints, he led the league in touchdowns in rushing touchdowns. So it's funny that how stuff like that happens. I keep waiting for David Montgomery to fall off. I'm saying, oh, he's not a number 1 back. You know, he's got Gibbs ahead of him. Gibbs has got to own his backfield. But he's been really good for what they're doing. I think he's a great complementary back, power back. He does not have the skill to stand alone and be a number 1. And I don't think the Texans are going to treat him like that. I think they're going to have Joe Mixon, if he could stay healthy at all, try to be the Gibbs, sort of equivalent. Nowhere near as talented, up there in mileage. Can't stop beating women. So Mixon will try to fill that Gibbs role, and they'll expect Monty to do Monty. The only thing which I saw this trade, and immediately it was like, on paper, I understand what the Houston Texans are doing, but it doesn't make sense because, dude, the Texans have no offensive line. They have no O-line, and they traded a lineman to Detroit in order to make this happen. So I actually think Detroit got the better of the deal because they can find some other guy to be a plotter and take the stress off of Gibbs. I still don't think Gibbs for all you fantasy players, and this is a guy that's had Gibbs 2 years in a row. I won't be keeping him this year because he's going to cost me a first. I don't think Gibbs is going to go ahead and start commanding, 35, 40 touches a game just because Montgomery's gone. They're going to find somebody else to fill that role. They're just going to find somebody to do it cheaper and probably a little bit younger. David Montgomery is not quite on the back 9 of his career yet, but he's on the other side of that curve. You can see the hill. This trade a little perplexing for Houston. Again, unless they address their offensive line, I don't see how this makes any sense.
Aaron Jones may also be released. He's a former Packer, so
he's cooked.
But we might get rid of Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I actually, I think the Packers would be fine if they trade him, or not trade him. I'm sorry, if they release them. Jacobs he's a good back, but you can find dudes in the draft. You can go throw a 3rd or 4th round pick on somebody.
I'm gonna wrap up the show,
I guess.
I have one more question for you.
Sure.
Has this been a good experience for you post layoff?
It takes my mind off of the fact that I have no income. So,
and it feels like the show kind of, and it's a good chance for us to talk.
Yeah. Oh, because without this, I don't know if I hit you up. I'm like,
we're hitting each other up, but it is less.
Well, yeah. I don't have to work with you nightly.
But we're still thinking about each other.
No, for sure. In fact, and I told you that you were the first person immediately that I told that I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go to Chicago for a couple days. What's up? So yeah, no, I still, I still think we're friends.
Well, we are friends.
I mean, I don't know. We're hitting each other up less. No, but I will be. I'm very much looking forward to that trip. It would be very nice to see you if we can make it work. But I do understand that I'm flying in the day of the game that I'm going to, and
I'm doing that too.
I'm going in because my wife she didn't want to push the days because of her hotel and whatnot. So we're flying that Friday morning for Jackie Robinson Day to go see the Mets take on the Cubs. If I don't get one of these Jackie Robinson Cubs jerseys, I'm going to punch someone in the face and take theirs because I am not going back to New York without one of those jerseys. And then we're going to that Saturday game as well. I think it's Ron Santo bobblehead night, so I'm going to wear my Ron Santo jersey for that as well. So hopefully I get a little Bart either Friday or Saturday night. And I'm going to pre-warn my wife. I'm like, hey, if Bart and I are hanging out, I don't know what his drinking situation is going to be, but I plan on getting fucking ripped.
Wait, I'm coming down now?
No, I'm saying, if I'm coming up, like we still got to work it out logistically. But I wouldn't mind.
You're going to come up here?
If I don't know what we're doing in terms of car, my wife said no, but I'm like, yo, it literally cost me like $20 to rent a car last time, and Milwaukee's an hour and a half away. Like we can make that happen. But I don't know. Maybe we could make it work in terms of even if we don't get a car, I could take the train up there or some shit. But let's talk about that off the stream. I don't need people knowing what moves I'm making.
Yeah, and I just text you something.
Okay, you try to rob me, I'm killing you. Let you know right now. I still carry.
Yeah. Oh, nice. All right, Karlos.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. I text him which Amtrak train is the best to do drugs on.
The answer is all of them.
Yeah.
I'm not, when I see Bart, I'm not going to remember. I'm going to be on snow, big time ski party.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to try. Anyway, all right. Thank you, everyone, for stopping into. Hold on. I'm probably going to go live after Bucks Celtics tonight and tomorrow. So that's what's coming up. Thanks for everybody, especially Karlos, for stopping into